Hey! Oh, hey! It's, it's like a koala bear crapped a rainbow in my brain!
Listen, here's $5. I've got to get to 1008 Park Avenue right away. It's an emergency. Look, I'm really in a hurry. Isn't there something you can do? Be $10 more. Look, I've got to be there before 5. Well, what's going on up there? We're getting someplace. Now, look, will you just get around him? Just get in his lane. Do it! I've got to be there by 5. Hey, mister, you're going to be 10 minutes late, so just keep your shirt on.
You know, a lot of us have family members that are going through a crisis or dealing with problems like this. So it's art therapy in a way. It's a, cathartic kind of release for me.
Rack lays it up, no, but we do have the whistle. A foul. Ben just went after our 10. Trouble right here in the Motor City. We got big trouble here in the Motor City. Steven Jackson still screaming at the Pistons.
He came back now, but
short on the headsets. The Indiana broadcast.
And Ben Wallace just threw something at him. There goes Ben Wallace again.
There goes Artest up into the crowd. He's absolutely out of his mind. And Steven Jackson slugging people in the crowd here.
The whole Indiana team is in the crowd.
And now the Pistons are coming over.
And you want to be my latex salesman?
Hey, did you see that? Did you see somebody go past the window? What? Somebody just went past that window, downwards. Oh. Must be a board meeting. Oh, yeah.
He's faking it, Julie. He's faking it.
I think he's in trouble.
Julie, this guy, if he can't take a joke, he stinks.
Get your house! It's on fire! It's on fire!
Sir, I would like to complain about that last scene about people falling out of high buildings. I myself have worked all my life in such a building and have never once...
Jack, you know what? Hey, I really like that hate t-shirt, the whole angry young man, black thing, generation, you know what I mean? It's cool.
Yeah, it's the name of a comic book. Can I borrow your pen 1 second?
Absolutely.
Happy now.
My artwork is popular because it connects with the ordinary person, and they can understand it very easily. And I've always meant it to be so. I've never confined my art to a particular section of humanity. I love people in general. My art reflects it. And that's the way it's always been.
Hello and welcome to Taylor Talks Comics Live. How's everybody doing today? It is National Candle Day on this December 3rd. It's also the birthday of the late great Ozzy Osbourne. It's Montel Jordan's birthday, Brendan Fraser's birthday. How's everybody doing today? We're getting closer and closer to Christmas, if you celebrate Christmas, or Hanukkah, if that's the holiday you celebrate at the end of December. Looks like we have a good amount of people in the chat so far. Thank you, guys. Fill up the chat with your comments. Let's talk comics today. I would love to do that with you guys. I got a little bit of a haul to show off. And then not a lot of news to talk about unless you guys have something newsworthy to chime in with. I do want to say, though, let's do my plugs real fast. Make sure you smash the like button if you're watching this. I'd appreciate that as well. If you're watching this on the replay, comment down below. If you're watching it live, then comment in the chat. Super chats are always welcome and super appreciated. And all those things help the YouTube algorithm. The liking and the commenting and the sharing the videos with your friends, all those things help the YouTube algorithm and the channel succeed. And I appreciate that so much. Then also, if you're going to be shopping for comics this holiday season, I would recommend going over to panaboundcomics.com, and you can use my promo code TaylorTalksComics, all one word, TaylorTalksComics, and that can save you $2 off of your order. If you're going to put a larger order in, it's the holiday season, you're going to be buying gifts for friends and family, hopefully, perhaps. Go over to panaboundcomics.com, use my other promo code if you're ordering 4 or more books. TTC, ship it together, all one word. TTC, ship it together. You'll save 5% off of that order. Does anybody here buy comics for friends and family members that don't, maybe not necessarily read comics? Like every year, I try to give comics as a gift to people that even if they don't read comics, to try to get them into comics. It's kind of a challenge for me to find a good comic, a good gateway comic to get them into the medium, perhaps. So mostly it's my nieces and nephews that I'll be doing this with. And I don't know that it's worked so often. Like, I don't know that I haven't gone back and checked and see if they've continued to buy comics further. I do have a nephew that's really into manga. He collects a bunch of manga series, so that's cool. I think I started him off with some manga series back in the day. And then one of my nieces, she started reading Squirrel Girl at a young age. So she reads mostly prose, but she'll dabble with some comics here and there that and I try to buy her some stuff too. But what do you guys buy your relatives and things for in the comics realm? And let's just see what you guys are talking about. Howdy. Thank you, Josh. Moderator extraordinaire. Badger Stump. Only talk about bad comics today. I've got no money left. Spent it all on good comics. All right. I don't think I own any bad comics, Badger Stump, because I usually get rid of anything that I don't quite enjoy. What would be... Oh, I guess we could talk about Robert Kirkman comics. I'm not the biggest fan of his writing. Lady Death it is. As far as bad comics go, I actually have the Lady Death omnibus slipcase that Coffin released in 2021. It's really good. Hey, checking in. Best comics channel ever. Keep up the good work. Gray Mouser, thank you so much. That is amazing praise. I love to hear that. Trying to get things going here. I'm on my goal is to hit 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year. and I'm very, very close. I think I'm 132 off as of last time I checked. So it'll be very, very close. I need to do my part and put out more videos. I know I've been lacking on that lately. But if you guys want to help me out, sharing the channel with your friends, or if you're in a comic book group on Facebook or Reddit or something, or you're in, you see people on Twitter talking about comic books, maybe recommend my channel. All those things would be wonderfully appreciated. I'm a hipster in a black hole, aka want the 90s. The new stuff just isn't hitting. Well, Black Hole is a 90s comic. You should read that one. Oh, I wanted more cartoons. Or wanted cartoons. Oh, do I only have one cartoon in my intro? That's interesting. I think I do. Maybe as I update it throughout, as I go on, I'll need to throw in more cartoons. Well, damn. Hi, Taylor. Thank you, Dana, for joining me. Hello. Yes, consume at panelboundcomics.com. Used to with the nieces and nephews. Did you give up? You no longer do that? Just ordered Geiger volumes 3 and 4, and My Name is Shingo volumes 4, 5, and 6. My Name is Shingo that's one of the manga series I'm going to. It's like the next manga series I'm going to buy. I love Kazuo Ume's. Those books, I keep staring at them every time I go to like a Barnes and Noble and see them. They're always in my cart whenever I shop over at a comic book shop online. I just haven't pulled the trigger. My stepdaughter likes comics and often give her Junji Ito books. Awesome. That's great to hear. You only have one cartoon in your intro, but Mint instead of you. Oh, you want to watch cartoons instead of me? Well, I can do some sort of like AI animated version of Taylor. No, just kidding. I wouldn't do that. Did you guys also Black Friday? Did you guys do any Black Friday shopping for comics particularly? I'm curious to see what you guys have picked up. And also, what have you been reading lately? It's towards the end of the year, so I am trying to race to finish reading a lot of the stuff that I need to read in order to accumulate and put together my like best end of year videos and things. There's a couple books that have been highly praised that are on my list that I need to read, my TBR. And probably a few of them. I don't know that I have so many, but I do plan on doing. I don't know if I'm going to do like a top 10. I don't know. What's your guys' opinions on this? So I thought about in years past, I've kind of done this where I do like my top 10 favorite reads of the year, and those are books that could have come out in any year. They could be like old reads. It's just like the first time I've read it. So my top 10 things that I've read this year that didn't come out this year necessarily. And then I'll do my top 10 favorite things that I read that did come out this year. Of course, I'll try to word those in a cleaner way as I do the videos. But I also thought about doing kind of like what I did with the middle of the year video this year, where I did like, instead of top 10, I did my favorite horror comic or my favorite, I don't know, alternative comic or my favorite Marvel DC omnibus, that kind of thing. Which do you guys like better? Do you like just a solid top 10 list, or do you like the kind of like the superlatives that I do or did in the middle of the year? I buy so many books each week, reading Tomb Raider now. Been a lot of pulp fun. I don't know why, Josh. I've never had any interest in reading Tomb Raider comics ever in my life. But once you posted on Discord and started talking about how it's like a pulp comic, it like triggered something in my brain. And I was like, oh, wow, that's right. It would be like a pulp comic. I want to read it now. I don't know why I never made that connection before. I will say, and I'm not saying that they're not talented by any means, but I'm not the biggest fan of the Top Cow artists or the artists on that. I know that Tomb Raider run is like a who's who of artists of that era, and they're all great. I'm not saying that they're bad artists. They're just not on my list of favorites. So I don't know that's not something like normally, like if it was like a who's who of artists of a certain era that I really dig, then I would instantly go and read it, because I get drawn into the artists more than in the story and things. But I'm not sure that their artists are on my top lists, if that makes sense. Top 10 books I discovered this year. That would be cool. So that would be a good way to word like the books that necessarily didn't come out this year. A lot of stories are just two issues too. Oh, so I love that too. You know, the one and done issues, the issues that can, you know, stand as a single unit. I really appreciate those kinds of things. Let's go over my haul. Excuse me. I did get another Kurt Vonnegut, so not comics related, but prose related. Cat's Cradle. This is the one I wanted to read next on my Vonnegut list. I found this in a Goodwill. It's all kind of beat up and stickers all over it. But this is the Vonnegut I wanted to read the next. And I have like one shelf over here dedicated to just prose books for next year. And I think I have 3, maybe 4 Vonneguts to read for 2026. Because my goal is to read one prose novel a month. I think I have more than 12 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then upstairs I have 11, 12. I might have exactly 12, actually. Interesting. But yeah, so this will probably be the next Vonnegut I read. And actually, yeah. So that's exciting. One prose book a month is my goal. I'm still in the middle of The Shining. I don't know if I talked about that or not. It's the first Stephen King book I've been reading, I've ever read. And I haven't finished it yet, though. It's really good. Another part of my haul, Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers. I got this is a review copy from Fantagraphics. And super stoked about this. This is the earliest story. So this is volume 1. This one just came out last month, I believe. Gilbert Shelton, Underground Comics with an X. It's called Times of No Money. It's even got a die cut cover, just like all the other Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers do. But it's been a lot of fun to read these early stories. I've read most of the Freak Brothers stories I've read have actually been some of these because I've had old collections in the past. So some of this is like revisiting old stuff. But one thing that I always love and appreciate is the title lettering of Gilbert Shelton. Like almost every strip has a different title lettering. Like that alone is like a lot of work to put into the cartooning. Like look at that. But then the cartooning alone is just amazing. Like this to me is like this is like adult animated comedy before that even existed. Before like decades before The Simpsons and Family Guy and Adult Swim and things. That's this kind of comedy. So if you're into those types of TV shows, then I would highly recommend this. It's a stoner comedy as well. I think this is all just Gilbert Shelton work in this book here, with some Fat Freddy's cats in here as well. But yeah, there's hilarious stuff. I absolutely love the Freak Brothers. We'll have 7 volumes total when it's all said and done. The 7th volume comes out in 2026, and then we'll have the whole set of everything Gilbert Shelton put out when it comes to Freak Brothers and Fat Freddy's cat. Like, look at those guys. Who doesn't want to read a story about those 3 guys getting into hijinks and chasing drug money and chasing drugs and getting into all kinds of trouble? And I love that piece too, where they're like running away from the cops. There's just so much so many layers to his artwork too. There's like so much chicken fat and like Will Elder's chicken fat. Billy Graham. There's a strip in here with Billy Graham, like the famous preacher. But there's just like so much detail in the artwork too, so much cross hatching and all the things that you love about the underground comics. It really is like Gilbert Shelton was inspired by like Carl Barks was definitely an inspiration throughout here, as well as trying to think. And I guess EC Comics maybe a little bit, but he didn't grow up like this. Is the underground comics scene of the 60s and 70s is really fascinating because that's like the last generation of cartoonists that were not inspired by just superheroes. And I talk about that a lot, how like I'm excited for this next group of kids that are, you know, kids now, like what they're going to look like or what their comics are going to look like in a 10 or 15 years from now, because they're growing up on manga and Raina Telgemeier and Dave Pilkey and things. They're not growing up on superheroes. And we haven't had a generation of cartoonists not grow up on superheroes since the underground comics days of like the 60s and 70s, where those guys grew up on Carl Barks and Mad Magazine and the EC comics, that sort of thing. They didn't necessarily only read superhero comics, but every generation since then, after the Comics Code Authority and everything, has grown up primarily on superhero comics. Not everybody. I'm sure you can find some examples of cartoonists that didn't, but most of them have. Mm-hmm. The pink and green is a choice. Oh, on the Vonnegut book. Yeah, I don't like this. This isn't my favorite. So Vonnegut's been collected in a number of different styles and book designs. This one's not my favorite. I don't think I. Yeah, I don't have my copy of Slaughterhouse 5 up here, but I have this one, like Welcome to the Monkey House. This is like one of the early covers that he did. I mean, not that he did, sorry, but that was designed for his work. I like these classic covers. There's also one that has like his signature on the spine, the way he wrote his name, which those are really designed really well. They have like one little icon representing the work. But these ones with the big giant V on them, I don't know. It just doesn't scream Vonnegut to me. And then it has like one little image at the top. But I have Slapstick in the same format as well. But even like the original design of Slaughterhouse 5, I feel like is like a really, really strong cover. I don't know why they would ever go away from that one, but I agree. It's a choice. Wow. I figured you would have read more King. Want to read more? Yeah, I haven't. No. I mean, yes, I do want to read more, but I just didn't grow up reading a lot of Stephen King. I don't know why. It's kind of surprising because my mom and my brother, my older brother, are both massive Stephen King fans. I think my mom's read almost everything Stephen King's put out, and Richard Bachman. And my brother is like close to that. So the reason why I have The Shining right now, I'm reading it because I went to my mom's house for Halloween, I think. And then she like just, and I was just talking about reading prose next year. And I think she always kind of like wishes I read more prose and less comics. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe she just likes that I read. But then she handed me like a stack of Stephen King books and was like, here, pick one. And so I was like reading through the backs of them. And the two that stuck out to me the most were The Shining, because of its classic, obviously, and Firestarter, because it sounds really interesting. So I think that's probably going to be my next one. I'm going to work my way up to it. It's going to be like the down the road, because I'm trying to find, like, most of the prose books I'm reading are like 200 pagers, like the small little ones, because I read a lot of comics still, and I still need to read a lot of comics. I don't have a lot of time to dedicate to prose books. The Shining's 400 pages, so that's going to be a little bit longer one. And then I have a couple longer ones on my list, like East of Eden and Cormac McCarthy's The Road. But, you know, top 5 comics to get into. Comics with an X, the Underground Comics. That's a great idea. I don't know. I always feel, I need to get over this, but like I always feel like an intimidation of doing a video for the cartoonist that I don't own everything for. Like I'd love to do like a Robert Crumb video, but I don't have a ton of Robert Crumb stuff. So I feel like I'm not like the authority to speak on Robert Crumb. But that's not even a big deal. Like, I don't know why I have that inclination. Like it should be whatever. I should just get over myself and do it. And like, I'd love to do like a video on like the Zap Comics guys. So like S. Clay Wilson and Spain Rodriguez and Robert Crumb and Gilbert Shelton. But I don't own, I don't know. I just need to do it. But yes, that'd be a great idea. The top 5 comics with an X to get into. And I could do different eras too, because Should you get a discount on that book as a whole in it? No. Talking about the die cut cover. Well, it is a review copy, so I got a 100% discount on it. No, I do love the die cut covers though. They're really cool. Just a nice little design that sets them apart. I think Justin Allen Spencer is the designer on these books, and he does a great job. Oh, there's some like really cool full color pinups in the back of this one too, with some nice little back matter as far as like biographies and things go. I'm pretty sure this was designed by Justin Allen Spencer. Yeah, Justin Allen Spencer designed this line of books. Just arrived, but I saw Cat's Cradle, and that book's awesome. Vonnegut is one of my all-time favorite writers. Thank you, James Moore, for joining me. Yeah, so I'm a Hoosier, so I'm trying to do my due diligence and read all of Vonnegut. I read the most recent prose book I read was Slaughterhouse-Five. Finally, I read that. And then I read the graphic novel version, which I've been wanting to do this video as well. I feel like I'm a broken record when I keep saying I want to do this video. But I have like the graphic novel version and then the prose version. I was going to do like a comparison video because the graphic novel version I think fell short quite a lot for me. But I think it had more to do with the fact that I feel like that book is extremely hard to adapt. I think it's one of those books like we have comic books that we feel that way about. We're like, this can only exist as a comic. I can't see it being adapted as a movie or TV series or anything. Which give me examples of this in the chat. What are some comic books that you guys have read that you're like, this can only exist as a comic? I don't want to see a movie of this, and I don't even think that a movie could exist in a really well done movie could be made of this. Like, what are those comics that only exist as comics? But I think Slaughterhouse-Five is one of those prose books that can only exist as I know they've adapted it as a movie, but I have like no interest in watching it. I feel like Vonnegut and he has such a singular voice that I feel like anybody trying to interpret that voice in any sort of other medium is going to fall short unless it's him adapting it, which obviously he's no longer with us, so he can't. But they look like guys I know. Oh, the Freak Brothers? You know some of these guys? I was lucky to get in on underground comics when they were new, buying them in head shops and from Bud Plant. Freak Brothers 1 through 4 are the most classic. Yeah, I don't think these because I remember the Freak Brothers issues, like the Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers number 1, 2, 3, 4, what you're talking about, were a lot of those were reprints of their strips that appeared in other comics, like Zap Comics or Bijou Funnies or whatever comics they were appearing in. I'm trying to think. So Kit Brash writes the intro to this one. I thought it was maybe it's a different book I hauled that Bud Plant wrote the intro for, because he just said that name and it kind of triggered something in a recent. Yeah, okay. Bud Plant wrote an intro to a different book that I hauled that I'll show off in a second. But yeah, so those like reprinted a lot of the strips from different things. So they don't have like, I don't even know if they have the covers for those in the back. That would have been a cool thing to collect. The covers for Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers 1 through 4. They might have been in one of the other collections, though. I can't tell you, to be honest. But yeah, those early strips are hilarious. I agree. Art by Surge. Hello. Hi, everyone. The vintage Vonnegut covers are the best. Same is true for the Richard Brodigan novels. I recommend Needful Things and Thinner as a quick one. I don't think I've heard of Needful Things. I've heard of Thinner because my older brother used to work at a movie theater back when he was still when both of us were living at home in our younger days. And we shared a bedroom, like in the basement. So we had this huge basement that was just ours. But he would put his movie posters that he'd get for the movie theater all over the walls. And the Thinner movie poster was always there. And the guy creeped me out all the time. Top 5 undergrounds to get into: Zap, Bijou Funnies, Slow Death, Skull, and Freak Brothers. That's a great list. Slow Death, that's the one that Corbin was in a lot of, wasn't it? I do wish I could collect more of the single issues of undergrounds. they're available on eBay all the time in lots and things. But I wish I never go to a comic book shop that has like those in the back issue bins. I'd love to pick those up in that format because a lot of those can't be reprinted because they're multiple people own them and things. Which the complete Zap Comics box set is currently my number one white whale. So I talked about it a few weeks ago. I got the Captain Marvel book by CC Beck, and I was like, that was my white whale. I don't know what my next one's going to be. I think it's a complete Zap Comics box. I've wanted that for a long time, and now it's just the price on it's just increasing to insane amounts. I'll probably never own it, to be honest, because I don't think the cover price on it alone, I don't think I'll ever find it lower the cover price. I would be even willing to buy it without the box if I could just get the books. Like maybe I'll run across one of those on eBay where the box got damaged, but they had the books on it. I don't know. But I do know that will probably never be reprinted by Fantagraphics because I guess it was a nightmare to put together, trying to deal with all of the different people that own the material. So you have like Robert Crumb, you have S. Clay Wilson and his estate, you have Gilbert Shelton, you have Spain Rodriguez and his estate. So they have to deal with all these rights issues because the underground comics scene was very much into creator ownership and creator rights. So they'd put out an issue of comics, but it would have like 5 different cartoonists work inside of an issue, but they owned all their own work. So like very hard to reprint any of this stuff. You do realize we enjoy your takes, so maybe don't listen to yourself, but us, your fans. You're right. I should just put out the material, put out the videos, and just blab on about comics. Now you're a Hoosier. We still remember last week. You can't hide the truth anymore. My son, I swear, he really threw me under the bus with that one, didn't he? We've talked about this since then. He's like, you're not a Hoosier. He still thinks I'm not a Hoosier. But I've lived in Indiana for 30 years now. I'm 38. So 3 decades I've lived in Indiana, which is much longer than him, by the way. He's only been living here. He's only 11, so he's only been here for 11 years. So that's my argument. I'm more of a Hoosier than him. I've lived here for more years. But he's like, you weren't born here, so it doesn't count. Don't believe in yourself. Believe in me. Believe in the me that believes in you. Less excuses and more videos. Thanks, Josh. I appreciate that. Really, really do. I don't know. I get in a funk sometimes, and it's hard to get up off, out of myself, out of my funk to make videos. I have done the live streams. I'm pretty proud that I've kept this going. I've only missed 1 or 2 weeks, I think, where I haven't done a live video since I restarted it. Which, by the way, I should say real quickly, programming note. Next week's episode of live Taylor Talks Comics Live will be on Tuesday. It will not be on Wednesday next week. It'll be on Tuesday. Obviously, the information will be put out there in the future date. But so next week's will be on Tuesday at noon Eastern. But I don't know. I don't know what it is. I just need to get off my butt and because I have all these video ideas and I'm like, oh, I can do it, but it's a lot of work too. I don't know if that's what bogs me down because I love making the content. I love making the videos and filming it, but the editing part and then the promoting part, all that stuff is like, I hate that stuff. I'd love to be able to have pay someone else to do that, but I'm not rich and I don't make enough money off this to do that. But I just need to do it. I just need to get off my butt. Needful Things. The devil opens up a pawn shop. Your money isn't good there, but you will pay. Ooh. It kind of reminds me of a Twilight Zone episode. I'll put that on my list. He's a real Hoosier. I know he is. Sound like a fake Hoosier to me? Badger Stump. Come on. Those Zap box sets are up into the crazy price realm. It would be more affordable to buy the original issues. I've thought about that too, Dana. Because I have put those in my cart over at mycomicshop.com. And it would be much cheaper just to buy the single issues, which is probably the route I'm going to go. And to be honest, if I get the single issues, I probably will no longer want the box set because I will have those. So maybe that is the route I need to go. Just collect Zap 0 through 16. I think it would be what it would be by itself. But there's also that book in the box set that had all the extra back matter. Maybe I need to find out what's in there, what I'm missing. My Taylor's not a Hoosier. He may be a liar, a pig, an idiot, a Hoosier, but he is not a... Whoa. Okay. I don't know what that means. I'm not, though. I'm not. So next in my haul, I got Plastic Man Archives, Volume 17. So I love Plastic Man. I think Plastic Man is one of the best Golden Age comics that still stand up today, that people can read today and still enjoy. I know I talk about Golden Age comics all the time on my channel that I love. This is one that I feel like is palatable and it could be enjoyable for current day audiences. And a lot of that has to do with Jack Cole's cartooning. I'm trying to get there we go. His cartooning is amazing. He wrote and drew all of this. And it just has it has a lot of the same flavor to it that Captain Marvel has that I really enjoy, which is just like this innocence to it, this whimsy, this not afraid to be kind of funny, goofy, wacky to it, which a lot of the Golden Age, like Superman and Batman's would I feel like take themselves too seriously at times. And these definitely don't. So these are super enjoyable. And there was 8 volumes of these archives that they put out. And now I only have 2 of them. I think I have volumes, 4 and 7 now. Or maybe 3 and 7. But so now I'm going to try to collect all 8 archives volumes, which I don't even think was all of the issues. I think there's still more Jack Cole stuff beyond that. But his splash pages and covers were also really magnificent. But this is the one that Bud Plant wrote an intro for that I was talking about. Here's a splash page. Ah! Just had a really fun way to draw this wacky, rubbery character. I'm trying to see. Did they not collect the covers in here? Oh, yeah, they did. Oh, look at this one. So, Plastic Man Archives is another one I'm trying to collect. Any Jack Cole fans in the house? Mm-hmm. It's also more fun and cool to have the original Undergrounds. You're right. And the good thing is they reprinted a lot of those issues a ton of times. So like Zap issue 0, I think it's been printed 12. I don't know. I think I found 11 or 12 printings of those. And I don't care about having first printing, so I could get the cheapest one and it won't be a big issue. Simpsons quotes. Did I drop a Simpsons quote? I probably did. I don't know. It just happens naturally. I get easier to have nice. Oh, you dropped the Simpsons quote. Okay, sorry. I get easier to have a nice new book and put it on the shelf. Hello, Chris Brogan. Happy birthday, by the way. Everybody wish Chris here a happy birthday. You share a birthday with, who did I say at the start of the show? Ozzy Osbourne, Montel Jordan, and I forget who else. How can you do a video on Golden Age comics when you don't own all of... Oh, see, I see what you're doing there. But I should do that's the video I want to do because I feel like Golden Age comics get a bad rap. And people are like, those are old and there's too many words and they're boring. But there's so many Golden Age comics that people should give a shot because I feel like there's still a lot of fun to read nowadays. And so I need to do that video, the best Golden Age comics to read for a new audience. And I would definitely have Plastic Man on there. Captain Marvel would be on there. The EC comics could be an entire section of that video because those are Golden Age. But yeah, you're right, Josh. Are those archive editions oversized? Never seen one in the wild. Always assumed that they were standard size for some reason. They are standard size. This was DC's answer to the Marvel Masterworks. So Marvel had the Essentials, the black and white phone book editions, and DC copied those with the DC Showcase line. Then Marvel did the Marvel Masterworks. Then DC copied them with the DC Archives. Marvel did the omnibus, and DC copied that. But then DC did the Absolute Edition, and Marvel has not copied that. Like this book was printed in 2005. Okay, I thought it was much older. But yeah, so these are like their Marvel Masterworks. They're standard size, which is fine. Whatever, you know. Not everything has to be oversized. I would love a Plastic Man Jack Cole omnibus, though. Don't get me wrong. Happy birthday, Chris Brogan. Thank you. Late, but I made it. Picture Peepers. How you doing, my man? How you doing? Also got 2 other review copies that are chunky. Like these are fat books here. And one of them is Girl Comics, the latest of the Atlas Comics library from Fantagraphics. So this is the 7th volume, I think. Yeah, number 7. But I haven't measured it on my shelf, but I think it is the fattest volume of all of them. It clocks in at almost 400 pages, it looks like. Yeah, 399, it looks like. I can't get my finger in there. Maybe 400 if you count the end papers. But it's a great looking book. And Girl Comics, it collects Girl Comics 1 through 11, I want to say. No, 1 through 12. Like the title of the book was called Girl Comics. You can see it comprising Girl Comics 1 through 12, October of 1949 through 1952. Again, great Golden Age comics right here. Great table of contents. I love these Atlas books. But Dr. Michael Fasalo writes the intros to these, and I swear that alone is worth the price of admission. I love comic book history, and Dr. Michael Vassallo is the utmost historian on anything to do with Atlas Comics. He curates this line as well, so he kind of makes the choices on what to reprint. With like he goes to Fantagraphics, like, hey, what do you think about Girl Comics 1 through 12? And then they say yay or nay. So he kind of curates the line, and these are mostly romance comics, I believe. But like the first, here's the first cover of the first issue. Mostly romance comics, but I think some of them have a little bit of crime involved as well. And but yeah, the covers were all like these. They look like magazines, right? Like just your typical girls magazine. But the artwork within is amazing. Like some of the greatest artists in comics history. And don't dismiss romance comics as like, oh, that's going to be like boring romance stories. The artwork alone is amazing, but like the stories are really, really good too. Jack Kirby and Joe Simon invented the romance genre in comics. Like, look at that guy blowing smoke out of his nose. What a thoughtful cartoonist. Capturing that moment of smoking a ciggy. But yeah, all the Atlas artists are in this one. And the restoration's wonderful in these. It's all done by Alan Harvey. House of the Shadow. So here's like a little bit of a spooky tale. So it's not all just romance stuff. Like, look at the artwork. That is amazing stuff. A Real Girl's Adventure. Who's the artist on that one? It doesn't say. I'm going to look it up. Because they do have really good table of contents on these. The House of Shadows. Page 193. Russ Heath. Oh, Russ Heath is the artist on that one, of course. And then the covers would get into like the classic Atlas style, which is what Robert Crumb appropriated for his most recent Tales of Paranoia. He did kind of an Atlas style cover to that one. A little bit different than the EC style of covers. They Called Me a Spy. So you have some Cold War politics in here as well. There's some fun stuff. Yeah, I can't wait to dive into this and read a lot of these. I like the classic romance comics. I kind of wish that genre was back in a bigger way. That was before pre-comic. Those are all pre-code. And okay, those are all pre-code, and that was when comics were way more diverse, and the readership of comics was way more diverse. So the romance comics, girl comics, and like the romance comics that Kirby and Simon are doing were all super popular with like the housewives of that era, like moms and wives read comics. Like, can you imagine that? Like, can you imagine like 50s housewife like cooking dinner for a family and then, you know, sitting down and reading like comics at night? Like, that's such an amazing like idea. Like the whole family reading comics, like the kids have their funny animals, the wives have their, you know, the romance comics, and their spouse is reading Superman or whatever. But yeah, then the Comics Code Authority came out and it blew up the whole thing. It made comics only for kids, and all the publishers only made comics for kids, and you would never see that visual again. Do you own the Zap box set? Yes, sir, Josh. Oh, he does. He showed it off on the Discord, I think. Did you take part in books giving for My Comic Shop? I did not, Chris. I wanted to, but I bought stuff over at other places throughout Black Friday shopping, and I just figured I should pump the brakes. I wanted to, though. Hey, Taylor, I found what book you're going to rob from Jordan. Oh, yeah, Zap comic box set. There we go. Jack Cole's a great artist. The Craig Yo collection of Cole's horror comics is excellent. That's definitely on my list to pick up, because the only Jack Cole comics I've read are Plastic Man. I think he might have had a horror comic appear in a couple collections I own, and I have some covers and things, but I also own this book, which I think I hauled on a video, or showed off on a haul video recently. This is done by Chip Kidd and Art Spiegelman, and it's kind of like a monograph. It's like a part comics, part biography of Jack Cole, talking about, you know, his tragic life and how it ended in peril. But there are a lot of like art pieces in here that are not Plastic Man, and the comics are all like beautifully pictures, beautiful photographs of actual comics. Chip Kidd is just such a good book designer. He makes like fully immersive books. Love his stuff. I have some Plastic Man books released by Guandaland. Big fat oversized trades. I'll drop some pictures in the Discord. Yeah, I think I've had my eye on those because the archives are getting kind of pricey. I would like to do a comparison of the Guandaland ones, because the Guandaland does like scan copies of comic books, so the quality can be like subpar at times, but I love that kind of nostalgic yellow newsprint look to them too. And I do have some Guandaland collections, but not Plastic Man. Bunkmaster B. Taylor, I don't know if you're allowed to read girl comics. It's right in the name. Yeah, I guess not. I don't know. I might have to check in on that, but no. Thank you for joining me, though, Bunkmaster B. Girl comics now a day would be nothing but crime. Ooh. Going to make a video for girl comics. I'm interested. I am going to. Yes, this is. I'm behind on my Fantagraphics review videos, but I'm definitely going to do a video on this one once I get a chance to sit down and read it. I was thinking of passing on girl comics, but now you've got me rethinking that. Yeah, if you like, Dana, if you like a lot of the artists involved, like, I think it's definitely worth it. It's got like, let me see here. Russ Heath, Joe Manili, Saul Brodsky, George Klein, Ann Brewster's got some women's cartoonists in here as well. Mike Esposito, Chick Stone, Warren Broderick. Yeah. So it's like partly your usual who's who of Atlas bullpen, but then some other ones that I've never read before. I haven't read any Anne Klein comics. That'll be interesting. Some of my favorite manga are romance. I missed Zap Talk? Lame. Yeah, we're talking Zap. If you give me your box set, we can talk Zap all day. No, just kidding. There's my Discord. Everyone, please join. We're talking comics over there every day. Basically, Taylor is a fake Hoosier. Feels like he can't talk comics or underground unless he owns everything. Oh, that's a great summation. That's like an AI summation of the stream. What's up, everyone? Hope I'm not too late to the stream. Thank you, MZ Abrams, for joining me. Nonsense. He can and should make an hour-long video on any issues app. Thank you, Jordan. I appreciate that. But yes. The last book I got, other review copy, is Savage Tales of the 1980s, the third volume of the Lost Marvels line from Fantagraphics. This book is a beast. Like, look at this thing. I'm pretty sure that's as thick as volume 1 and 2 combined. But this is a hefty tome, and it collects every issue of Savage Tales from the 1980s, which was, how many issues was that? It wasn't even that many issues, but they were like jam-packed issues. Eight issues. Just 8 issues of Savage Tales, but they were all like 60-some pages. And just like flipping through this book, I already know I'm going to love this book. This was edited by Larry Hama back in the day. He was like the editor of it. Here's the first cover of Savage Tales #1. You can totally tell that they were going for heavy metal vibes, right? Like they're going to compete with Heavy Metal magazine. Now, the artwork on the inside is not anything similar to Heavy Metal, but it's still great. Like, look at that stuff. And then there's the table of contents for the first issue. You got Michael Golden, John Severin, Gray Morrow. And there's some issues of the Nam in here as well. Oh, they even kept like all the ads in there. Like here's like a Heroes World catalog ad. I don't even know this cartoonist. Who does anybody know? Will Junkunt? Is that like a pseudonym for a different cartoonist? I never heard of him, but I like his stuff. It says it was written, drawn, and lettered by him, and I love that lettering at the top. Yeah, this Will Junk. It kind of gives me like some Benjamin Marra vibes. Which Benjamin Marra is awesome. That looks like John Severin for sure. Oh, look at that John Severin look. But these are like chunky issues. It's all black and white artwork on the inside. And the covers are all like these painted covers. Let me see if I can find another one. Like here's issue number 3. So you definitely tell they're going for like that Heavy Metal magazine vibe, which was obviously super popular back then. Chuck Dixon wrote some of these issues too, I will say. He's titled as Charles Dixon. Trying to think here. Oh, there was that's what I want to show off. One of the artists in here that I couldn't remember, or I didn't know that he ever did any work with any Marvel comic ever, because this was Savage Tales was a Marvel comic series. And this is Fantagraphics reprinting it. There's a Sam Glanzman story in here. But where's the one I wanted to show? Pepe Moreno. He's in here as well. Oh, there it is. 255. I did not know this cartoonist did any sort of Marvel work. Check this out. James O'Barr did a story in a Marvel Comics issue. I had no idea. James O'Barr, who's famous for doing The Crow. Like, look at that. James O'Barr artwork. Trying to show it off, but you get the idea. Yeah, but it's a huge, chunky book of black and white 80s comics. I just cannot wait to dive into that. Let's see, who designed this book? Dana Collins. Dana Collins was a designer on that book. I'm pretty sure Ian Chalgren designed Girl Comics. Yeah, Ian Chalgren was the designer on Girl Comics, I should state. That thing is thick. Yes, I couldn't believe how massive it was. It said it was collecting 8 issues, so I was like, oh, they'll probably be the same size as like the Chaikin volume. But no, this is 544 pages. 544 pages. When is that coming out? Either very, very soon or it's already out. It is coming out. Oh, February. Sorry. So that'll be out February 17th. Savage Tales. So you have some time. Damns you. Ugh, sold. Will Junkhunt passed away suddenly at the age of 30 in 1985, so he didn't get the chance to have much published. Wow. Yeah, that's one of the things I love about these collections too. Like these Atlas collections or these Lost Marvels is discovering these cartoonists that I had no idea. I didn't know anything about. Like I've literally never heard the name Will Junkhunt until I opened this book. So now I'm going to go down the rabbit hole because I have an obsessive personality of tracking down and looking at all the comics that he made. I'll buy it for you and for your old dusty Zap. Okay, that's a fair trade. I'll send you my copy right now. You can have it before it even hits the shelves, and you trade me your Zap Comics box set. Trying to think. I don't have anything else to show off. That's all I got to show off. Sorry, I'm trying to schedule things with this. It's 6 things. So I missed the party. I'm guessing you're not. Dang nabbit shucks. Let me know what we should do. Sorry, I'm trying to schedule interviews, and I think I screwed one up with the time zones. Interesting. I don't think you get with him on that. But that's one thing I am going to do in the future. I've got 2 interviews lined up already. Both of them I'm very, very excited about. Huge fans of both of the cartoonists' work. And I think what I'm going to do is, for the interviews, is I'm going to pre-record them and then edit them nicely to have some like image overlays and things to go along with the interview. And then have like the whole thing released as a whole interview, but then do shorter segments too. I might even show off a small segment on Taylor Talks Comics Live. I just think that's the better way to do it. I don't know. Comic book interviews on YouTube for some reason don't do very well. I don't know, but people have much interest, I guess, in watching interviews by cartoonists, which is kind of wild to me because I love that kind of stuff. So I'm trying to think of ways to do it in an interesting way that will not die on YouTube as far as the algorithm goes and things. But I have 2 lined up in December, which I will have released hopefully in December as well. And I'm really excited about those 2 because they're both, again, cartoonists that I really, really dig. One of which is probably one of my favorites going today. And I think that's going to get the ball rolling for me to do more of that. I talked about this on the show before. Like, I kind of want Taylor Talks Comics Live to be like, I come on and talk to you guys about comics and then have a guest and then talk to you guys more about comics. It's kind of this longer format, free-flowing show like that. But I think that it's like the timetable of like having a guest on for a brief time. Like, hey, can you show up for 20 minutes at noon or 12:45? I don't know. So I think pre-recording the videos so that I can have like a full long interview with them and edit it to where it's like visually interesting, but then also show off excerpts of that on Taylor Talks Comics Live would be kind of cool. But and that's just ideas just rattling around in my brain. I'll buy it for you. What are you currently reading? The Shining, as I said. Comics I'm reading right now, Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers. I've been diving into this. You can see my bookmark here, which is one of my favorite bookmarks, actually. Let me make sure I don't lose my place. It's Robert Crumb. And he says, geez. And it says, go home and read a book. But it's done. I can't show it on camera very good. But it's artwork by Robert Crumb. I bought this at Half Price Books. I don't know if this is like a line of, it's for Flame Tree Publishing, 2019. But Robert Crumb drew the art for this. One of my favorite bookmarks. But so I'm reading Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers. I'm reading The Shining. And also, I'm trying to get through. I need to read the 2 books that I want to read before the end of the year, before I make my end of the year lists. One of them is Jerome by Jesse Lonergan, and the other one is Anders Nielsen's Tongues. Those are the 2 books I want to read before the end of the year list. I also have some single issues coming in. I have Devil's Grin, issue number 7, and Crickets by Sammy Harcum, issue number 9. Those are both brand new issues that I want to read before the end of the year as well, to see if they would make my lists of best comics I read. And I think that those are the only things I need to read before the end of the year, as far as like making an end of the year list goes. We need you to do an interview. Sorry, we need you to do an interview with Dana. That would be a fun video. That'd be awesome. I should get with Dana and do an interview with her. That would be. Dana's got like such a fun history of reading comics and things. I think that would be, yeah, that'd be good. I just finished the first volume of Absolute Edition of Promethea. Excited for the second volume. Mr. Negative, thank you for joining me. I read that earlier this year as well, and I'm also excited for the second volume of that. It was mind-blowing. Alan Moore is my favorite writer of all time, and the artwork by J.H. Williams was... I love that it started off as kind of like a normal comic, but then it just blew into this thing where like J.H. Williams was just doing whatever the hell he wanted, and it looks beautiful and amazing, and it reads so clearly. It's so wonderful and great. I'm very excited to read the next volume of that, and then the third volume, which I don't think they've announced the reprint for the third and final volume. Have they? If not, I'm sure it'll be coming soon. Just finished The Shining. Loved it. I'm loving it so far, so that's great to hear. I'm loving that, and then I'm going to watch the movie afterwards. I want to watch. I want to read. I'm trying to think of Clockwork Orange. That's another book of a Stanley Kubrick movie I want to read. Nemesis. Oh, Nemesis Warlock. You're right. See, I do need to read that, Josh, but that didn't come out this year, did it? So I'm on a short timeline here of trying to read books before the end of the year. But I do still have. I still want to read that and all of 20th Century Boys. So that's going to be my early. I know I said I was going to read it in November, but that's going to be my early 2026 reading, I think. Whoa. Thank you so much for the super chat. Boss Guy Updates. Thank you so much. That's wonderful. Hey, Taylor, Noah here. I have a 3-year-old now. She enjoyed the comic collection at the Children's Museum. I'm trying to find comics that are suitable for her age that she would enjoy. Ideas. Again, thank you for the super chat. That's amazing. Boss Guy Updates. I do have a playlist set up of Hey Kids comics, and where me and my son show off comics that he loves to read. Now, we started those videos, I think, when he was 8, and he is 11 now. So maybe a little bit older than your daughter, who's 3, you said. But as far as 3-year-old comic books, I mean, obviously Dogman, anything Dave Pilkey, you could probably read to her, and she might enjoy. I'm trying to think of other ones that, because I started reading. I've been reading to my son literally since the night he was born. I've been reading every night to him. Still to this day, I read to him before bed. And a lot of that was comic books early on, and before the age of 5, I'm trying to think. I was reading a lot of like superhero comics because I was trying to get him into those. I'm trying to think. A 3-year-old. I'm trying to. You gave me the super chat there, so I want to try to give you a good answer here. But I know if you go to Hey Kids Comics, the playlist, which one of the moderators, if you could be so friendly to link that down below, there's a lot in there as far as comic books that my son has enjoyed. Press Start. Those are a lot of fun that are a little bit on the younger side. Obviously, Carl Barks, anything Disney comics are always fun because the kids can typically relate and recognize those characters. I can't find my playlist here. Hey Kids. Oh, there it is. Hopefully. Oh. Okay. Yeah, Press Start was on here. Plants vs. Zombies might be a little bit old. Pup Detectives, that's a good one. These would probably be books you obviously have to read to her. Bad Guys, Moon Girl Devil Dinosaur. Yeah, Moon Girl Devil Dinosaur has a connection to the animated series as well. So that could be a good one. But yeah, go in there and check it out. See if you can find something my son might enjoy. I'll ask him also today when he gets home from school and see if he has any ideas. He's usually pretty good about thinking of ideas for a younger crowd. Dana, I would love to be on your show. Dana, let's 2026. Let me early next year. I'll try to get with you and do. We could do a video together. That'd be awesome. Bone, yes, that's always a good one. Smurfs are a lot of fun. I will say Bone though. I tried reading that to my son when he was like 4 or 5, and he got scared at a certain point, and now he's like committed to not reading it. So, you know, be careful. I guess you can read it beforehand, maybe, and you can choose on your own. Josh recommends Smurfs. Everybody take a drink. Did you buy them? Are you on a commission with those Smurfs books? There's the playlist. Thank you, James. I think the collection is out of print, but Twig, I think, is a great comic for small kids. That's Scotty Young, which reminds me, the Scotty Young and Eric Schenauer Oz books, those Oz comics they did with Marvel are really, really good. Especially, you know, Wicked's coming out, which everybody, I try not to talk movies on here too much, but everybody see Wicked 2? Amazing movie. Brilliant. Blew me away. I absolutely love the musical of Wicked. My wife and I saw that years ago. The first movie blew me away. The second movie stuck the landing. Absolutely magnificent. And I also love Wizard of Oz. It's one of the greatest stories of all time. One of my favorite movies of all time. But I digress. The Wizard of Oz comics that Eric Schenauer and Scotty Young did were awesome. If you get your hands on those, I think they're out of print from Marvel, but you can find like the smaller digest versions for pretty cheap in comic book shops or on halfpricebooks.com or eBay even. And those are great too, because like, you know, you can probably find them cheap and she can like play around with them and flip through them herself, and you don't have to worry about them being destroyed and whatnot. Not my fault. I have taste. Taste. Is that a link to Smurfs? 2026. Yes, Dana. Here's a Twig comic. Oh, did you find it for sale? I don't know. All right. So thank you so much again, though, for that super chat. I really, really appreciate that. Goes a long way to helping the channel. One thing I'm trying to do also for 2026 is a new setup. I'm going to turn my desk around a little bit, spruce some things up, get some good lighting, and try to improve the way the video looks and whatnot. Still running with the 720p or whatever. The StreamYard prices are absolutely insane monthly. I need to make some more profit on the channel to be able to afford the crazy StreamYard prices, but to improve up to 1080p. But, you know, small grapes, small first world problems. These are all Amazon, not saying buy them, but great way to check them out. Oh, yeah. So there's Oz on Amazon. It's weird, though, that it says a.co. Amazon has like the little short links, I guess. But I'm going to go through my last minute plugs. Everybody put your last minute comments in the chat. After my plugs, I'll address those, and then we'll get out of here. Because I'm going to try to go record some videos for Josh. No, just kidding. For all of you. To hopefully have some videos this week besides the live show. So yes, you can see scrolling on the bottom of your screen, shop for comics at panelboundcomics.com. Use the promo code TaylorTalksComics, all one word, Taylor Talks Comics, to save $2 off of your order. If you're putting a larger order in over at panelboundcomics.com, an order of 4 or more books, you can use my other code. It's TTC Ship It Together. That's TTC Ship It Together to save 5% off of your order. And smash the like button, subscribe, comment down below. All those things help me in the YouTube algorithm. Even if you're watching this on replay, comment down below. All those things help me in the YouTube algorithm, and they don't cost you a dime, just a little bit of your time, and they're much appreciated. Dun, 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 dun. Just rob Goonmar's StreamYard. I probably should. No, just kidding. I mean, I don't know how that works. Could I use his account? Maybe I can hop onto his and use that. There's my Discord. Yes, we talk about comics all week on there, so join that. Taylor, you could always use OBS. It's free and open source. Has a bunch of plugins that can replicate everything StreamYard does. Does it? Razor Ramen, thank you so much. I'll look into that. Does it go to 1080p also? Because that's my issue with Stream. I love StreamYard, and also a creature of habit. So if I find something that works for me, it's hard for me to move away from it. Which is why I'll always own an iPhone. I don't have any interest in owning a different phone because I found it works for me. I don't need to use anything else. I'm very much a creature of habit. So I love everything about StreamYard. Just the prices are insane. But I would like to get better video quality. So if OBS has that and it's free, I'd be interested. Thanks for the stream. Thank you, Chris, for joining us. I think OBS is better. All right, I'll look into OBS. Agreed, just has a small learning curve, not plug and play like StreamYard. Gamers use it. I don't mind a learning curve. I have to play with it a little bit. Samsung is so much better. No, iPhone or death. You could stream at any resolution your internet and YouTube can support. Well, then how do they make money? Dom uses OBS on his channel. Oh, that's great. I can pick his brain. He'll be like the young kid trying to help the old man with technology, because I'm not very tech savvy. I try. Once I learn something, I can usually play around with it and figure it out. But I am very much. I've already gotten to the age where I can, if I can't figure out something to do with technology, I'm handing it over to my son to figure out, because he is. He's getting to the age where he's old enough to do that, and I'm getting to the age where I'm old enough to be an old man. I don't know. They don't make money. Free open source software. What is this? Free open. What is this? Socialism? What are we talking about here? Just kidding. I love that though. That's amazing. The real Hoosier. Yeah, I guess the real Hoosier. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I'm gonna get out of here. I got some books to ship out and also some videos to make. Everyone have a great day, a great week. Remember, next Tuesday is when the next week's live show will be on. Tuesday, noon Eastern. Thank you so much. Keep talking comics.